Hi guys, well, I guess this is it. This is my first official vlog post or entry. I don't even know what you guys call this yet. Anyway, so for those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Annie, and I apologize now for my Minnie Mouse squeaky sounding voice. Hopefully you get used to it. If not, well, then you know where the little red X is on the corner of your screen. I guess I'll start off with why I'm making this vlog. It's because my husband and I are going to be starting IVF for the first time in a couple of weeks. Just to give you a bit of backstory, we have a daughter who's 4.5 right now. We conceived her about a year after we started trying. It was our first cycle actually after we had started seeing the RE or reproductive endocrinologist. Um, he had diagnosed me with a luteal phase defect, and he had put me on progesterone after ovulation, which happened to be pretty much right after our first appointment with him. We had all our testing scheduled, but it turns out that we didn't need it. We were very fortunate, and the progesterone lengthened my luteal phase enough to the point where the embryo was able to implant, and 8.5 months later, out came our daughter. So when it came time to try again, she was about a year and a half old, and we decided that we wanted to try and do things a little more, I want to say the natural way, but I realize now that, that's not necessarily a very politically correct term. But we wanted to try and do things a little less invasive, I guess. We went to go and see a naturopathic doctor who did acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, and she was able to get my luteal phase up to an acceptable level, an acceptable length. And we were very lucky that we actually got pregnant on our third cycle trying with her. Unfortunately, we lost that pregnancy very early. I guess my luteal phase had lengthened, but my progesterone still wasn't at an acceptable level. And so I did have a miscarriage. About 6 months after that, we decided to go and see a reproductive endocrinologist again. I had moved. I was no longer living in the city that I was before. So we went and saw a new one, and she ran all the tests, did everything. My progesterone obviously was still low. My luteal phase was still insufficient. But what we did discover was that we were dealing with severe male factor infertility. We don't know if it was a new development, if it was something that had been going on for quite some time, or if it was slowly going down. We have no idea. But she told us that our best option was going to be IVF with ICSI. Now, this was just over 2 years ago now that we were told this, and we weren't quite ready to move to that point yet. We knew that we had gotten pregnant on our own twice before, with a little bit of help, of course, but we didn't need IVF, so we figured, well, we're not going to need this again. Why would we need this again, right? So we tried. We went and saw the naturopathic doctor. She put my husband on a whole slew of supplements. We went back 3 months later, did another semen analysis, and the numbers actually got worse, much, much worse. So we decided to stop all the supplements and see if the numbers would go back up. We tried a couple of things that the RE had suggested. Again, nothing worked. Nothing would bring the numbers up. We're dealing with low number, low motility, poor morphology, and our main issue is high anti-sperm antibodies, which means basically it's the sperm is attacking itself. The antibodies actually attach to the sperm, and it makes them clump together, which affects the motility, which is probably the reason why the motility is quite low as well. Now, so we tried that. We did everything that was suggested, and nothing worked. We went and saw a fertility urologist, someone who specializes in male factor infertility, and he put my husband on Clomid, which normally, as you guys probably know, is used for the ovulation induction in women. Now in men, what it does is it raises their testosterone levels. So for men whose MFI is caused by low testosterone, once their testosterone is brought up, it also brings their sperm counts up. Now, in my husband's case, his testosterone was a little low. It wasn't anything ridiculous. It was just a little bit low. And after 3 months in the Clomid, his testosterone did go up into the normal range, and it actually brought his sperm up into the total number into well above the low end of normal. It's at 33 million per milliliter, which is amazing. I mean, that would be perfect. We would dream of numbers that high. Unfortunately, the motility morphology were still the same and had actually gotten a little bit worse, and the antibodies were still significantly high. So everything stayed the same, but the total number went up, which meant that still even after a sperm wash, we would have less than 1 million sperm, which isn't really feasible to do anything to work with. We did try one IUI just to kind of see how I would respond to the injectable medications for when we did do an IVF. I used Gonal-F and letrozole as a hybrid cycle. I only responded with one follicle, which was kind of disappointing because I was already ovulating on my own. I didn't really need to spend several $100s and hours a week, traveling to and from the clinic just to ovulate like I normally do. So we decided at that point we knew that we were going to have to move on to IVF. Very soon after, actually just a couple weeks after we got those results, I lost my contract at work, and we were going to have to put everything on hold. So I spent about 8 or 9 months, 8.5, 9 months looking for a job, looking for anything. I mean, I started working at McDonald's just because, I needed a job. In addition to trying to pay for IVF, we still had bills to pay too. So I did that for a little while, and then I ended up getting a new contract, again with the same people I was with before. And I have a great boss now. He's fantastic. He has allowed us to continue with our journey through infertility. And so that was back in November that I got the new position, and it's April now. And so my husband and I have been able to save up the money to be able to pay for the IVF for the most part. So that's where we are now. We've finished all our testing again. We switched REs, and the new one we're with now we're extremely happy with. She's phenomenal. We love the clinic. I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about that later on, but I just kind of want to give you guys a bit of an overview about what our story is up until now. I guess I've kind of rambled a little bit. So just to give you an idea of what our protocol is going to be, we're going to be doing an estrogen priming protocol along with an antagonist cycle. So we're hoping to start that. I'm about, I think I'm 9 DPO today, possibly 10, I can't remember. But anyway, my luteal phase now is about 12 days long. And so I expect, my period to be here in just a few days. And then once that comes in, I'll be calling in my day 1. And then day 20, I'm going to go into the clinic. They're going to do my baseline. And after that, I should be starting the estrogen. So I guess that's our story for now. If you guys have any questions, just put them at the bottom of the screen, and I'll let you guys know the answers tomorrow or whenever I get back to this. Hopefully tomorrow. Maybe the next day. We'll see. All right. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you guys.